Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here today. We're really talking about a topic that actually has and can completely change the trajectory of your store, your outdoor gear brand, and that's KPIs or key performance indicators. Now, these are your early warning signs and your scoreboard, but for most retailers, either they ignore them or they stare at too many of them without much clarity. So we have to remember for Proverbs, it says, know well the condition of your flock and pay attention to your herds. And it's not just a proverb about sheep. It's a call to stewardship to know what's happening in your business so you can take the right actions. Now, if you ignore your KPIs, you're going to be flying blind. But when you track the right ones, you're going to gain a lot of clarity and confidence and peace and things like that inside your business. So let's break that down. My name is Jacob Curtis. I'm a CPA, a certified profit first professional, and your financial guide. My mission is simple, and that's to help business owners like you finally get paid, master your cash flow, and run a business that gives you freedom. I started Curtis Accounting Solutions because most of the business owners don't need more spreadsheets. They don't know what to look at, but they also need a plan that actually works, even with inventory, seasonal sales, and the cash flow chaos that comes. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Drop a comment below, hit the like button, share this video, and remember to follow along. Okay, so KPIs or key performance indicators aren't just fancy metrics. They're like the gauges on your dashboard of your car. Think about sales, margins, returns, conversion rates. If one of these starts blinking red, you know it needs some attention or something you need to do. For example, if your average order value drops from $120 to $85, that's a red flag, and maybe it's time to adjust your bundles or your pricing or something like that. Now, sales velocity is the speed at which your products sell. For example, 200 units of a jacket over 30 days is 6.7 units on average a day. So if you're only selling 2 a day, then you're going to be sitting on a lot of inventory. In the winter, you might want that velocity to go up to 10 a day. That tells you what you have in stock and when and things like this. This KPI gives you clarity before the cash actually gets trapped in the warehouse in the form of inventory. Now, your margins tell you how much money you have left after covering your inventory costs. For example, if a hoodie you're selling for $100 costs you $40 to make or buy or whatever, your gross profit margin is going to be 60%. But if those costs creep up to $55, your margin dropped to 45%. And that's a big warning sign. That's the red light I'm talking about. And margins are important to watch because they fuel your profit. When they erode, you start to feel that squeeze pretty fast. Now, inventory turnover shows you how many times you sell through your inventory in a given year. If your cost of goods sold is $400,000 and your average inventory is $100K, that means your turnover is about 4 turns a year, which is a pretty solid turn. But if that drops down to 2 or even lower, that means you're holding on to too much inventory, too much stuff. And that means you got a lot of cash sitting in inventory on the shelves that you can't use. So a higher turnover equals more profit and less stock. Now, running out of your best sellers, that's not really a good thing. That's a stock out, right? That's a lot of missed revenue that's sitting on the shelf. So if you're sitting on too many slow movers, that also means you're overstocked. You have too much inventory and there's a lot of dead weight unused cash. And both can actually hurt your cash flow. And so when we use open to buy tools or inventory planning tools to track what you order and when, so that you can steward your inventory wisely, making sure you have just the right amount when you need it. Now, conversion rates track how many visitors become buyers. So let's say you get 1,000 people to visit your website and only 30 people buy. That's a 3% conversion rate. If you boost that to just 4%, that means you just grew your sales by 33% without any more traffic. All you did was improve the conversion rate, which is super important. So little minor improvements like this in your conversion rate actually lead to some pretty huge wins financially. Now, your best customers aren't just satisfied. They're actually your raving fans. They're the best ones you have, right? This level of loyalty, however, isn't born from a single positive interaction, but from a consistently exceptional experience that not only meets, but exceeds their expectations. Now, this deep-seated advocacy for you is only achievable if every touch point along the way, from initial discovery to post-purchase support, seamlessly aligns with and enhances their perception of you and your brand. So things like tracking your net promoter scores, returns, and product returns are all very important to do. So if you notice that your returns all of a sudden are 20%, that might mean you have a product or a fulfillment issue. And as wise stewards, if we're watching your business, we want to care about that whole journey, not just the sale, right? We want to make sure that returns are not coming back People are leaving good reviews, things like that. So we want to make sure we're caring about the customer through the whole entire journey and not just the sale. Now, each week you want to spend about 30 minutes to review your sales margin, your margins, your turnovers, your average value, order value, your conversion rates, if you're stocking out, your inventory levels, because this habit really builds clarity and momentum in your business. Remember, Proverbs 23:27 says, know well the condition of your flock. You can't fix what you're not actually watching. So tracking your KPIs isn't about pressure, it's about peace. And when you have your numbers, you can stop guessing. And when you stop guessing, that leads with confidence. And that's faithful stewardship, and that leads to some financial freedom. So if you have any questions or need assistance with managing your company's finances, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help you turn inventory chaos into some predictable profit and experience some real financial freedom for yourself. So schedule a call by scanning QR code or clicking the link below, going to the URL listed there. And don't forget to follow me, Jacob Curtis CPA and Curtis Accounting Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.